Welcome to this edition of African View with me, Yodit Admaso, a program that discusses socio-economic activities around Africa. In today's edition, we are going to discuss on the media landscape of Africa. And joining me is African Press Organization chairperson, and he's also the founder of APO Group, Nicolas Pampigny Munyard. Welcome to the show again.
Thank you for having me, Judith. Nice to see you again.
Can you tell us a little bit about APO Group and its activities?
Well, Judith, APO Group is the leading Pan-African communication consultancy. We are also a press release distribution service. So we have two business units, public relations, press release distribution. Both are Pan-African, so we are active on each 54 markets of the continent. We have 300 clients, mainly multinational companies, 85% of multinational companies. We have interest in sport, in different sort of activity and partnership. We are the strategic partner of Getty Images in Africa, for instance. And we are deeply involved in sport, as I said, with for instance, the NBA. We are the Pan-African PR agency of the NBA, Pan-African PR agency of the Basketball Africa League. We are the main official sponsor of Rugby Africa. We are one of the sponsors of the Team Quebeca Netcash, which is the only African professional cycling team. So yes, that's APO in a nutshell.
Okay, let's now talk about the expanding of APO Group, and it has recently signed an agreement with Getty Images, and a company which is known worldwide for its wide collection of archives. How is it going to affect the APO Group activity and its ventures?
So in fact, we had a partnership with Getty Images, which we established several years ago, and making APO Group the strategic partner of Getty Images in Africa. But we extended recently, a month ago or so, we extended that partnership. And the idea is that all our clients, APO clients, coming to APO to distribute a press release with a good image, well, then the image will be distributed for free through Getty Image network. Not only the image, but also the press release. So again, if one client is coming to APO and say, well, I have a press release, and that press release come with an image, we will, as part of the normal cost of the press release distribution, no extra cost, it's a free service, it's complimentary, we will distribute that image through Getty Images. The image will be made available to the 1 million subscribers globally to Getty Images services. On top of that, the press release itself will be also made available to Getty Image subscribers. So it's a huge additional reach, international reach, which is provided for free to our clients. We believe it is a great way to participate to changing narrative about Africa, to change the perception of the continent internationally, because by making more content, more images, more press releases about the economic business activity, sport also activities on the African continent, well, we show the world, we show the newsrooms, all those newsrooms which are subscribers of Getty Images, we show them another face of the continent, and so you know, I often complain about the way the international media are portraying the African continent, but obviously we need to, if we want to be able to criticize them, we need to be sure at least they have access to some positive or neutral content about the continent. So it's very much what we are doing using Getty Image Network. We are disseminating good news and good images, text, image, and also video, in fact, to 1 million Getty Images subscribers across the world.
That's really good. Can you also say that this is going, you have said it's going to change the narrative of African news, African image. What about the kind of reporting, the scope of reporting that we journalists do. For example, Getty has pictures from diverse resources, and it's not necessarily a national thing, but it could focus on a small village or a small uh, community. So would that address more of African issues to the ground rather than that's publicized in the national medias and also that's put in the national or governmental level? It would keep the news down to the ground, to the people.
Well, one thing is sure is that by providing more African content to the international media, they will report on the African continent in different ways, because I believe that content is more positive or is more neutral. They will have to take notice and to talk about good news, which sometimes happen very locally. The content we are providing through Getty Images to the international media, there are stories about not only Africa as a continent, but also specific countries and sometimes specific provinces of those countries. So it's a way for us to make sure the international media take note of initiatives which are happening, sometimes very local initiatives. And if you are in media in New York, if you are in media in Moscow or Beijing or wherever you are in the world, and you have a subscription with Getty Images, which is the case of most of the global newsrooms across the world, then you will see pictures coming from all corners of the continent and the press release which goes with it, so the story which goes with it. So it's an incentive, encouragement to publish something about Africa, which is not as usual about poverty and conflicts and those kind of story which convey a bad image of the continent.
Okay, that's good. So it's going to not only cover the popular or the publicized issues that are put out there by governmental or big agencies, but also the grassroots level. And also we can say that Getty Images, which is really popular for its sport reporting, is going to change the paradigm of the reporting in the socio-economic activities as well.
Absolutely. In fact, APO has all sorts of clients, I mean, all sorts of industries. I was referring to the fact that we have 300 clients. Some of them are multinational companies, most of them more than 80%. We have also a few governments. I'm referring to the German government, for instance. We have the Canada Africa Chamber of Commerce, for instance. We have NGOs. We have the World Health Organization as a client, the African Development Bank as a client, the Islamic Development Bank as a client. And so all this organization, and when I'm referring to the multinationals, which are our clients, you have a company ranging from Canon to DHL, which is in logistic business, from Merck Pharmaceutical, which is a pharmaceutical company, to a company which are on the field of payment, in the payment industry, all sort of industry, including the printing industry, etc. And on top of that, indeed, we have that involvement in sport, which allow us to produce and distribute content about football in Africa, about rugby in Africa, about cycling in Africa, and yes, again, when you combine all that content, it has a possibility to it has a strength to change the perception internationally I have about the continent.
The other thing is that APO Group, like I said earlier, has a wide resources of journalists all over Africa, over 450,000 journalists that are working with you. So is this agreement going to extend towards them, and can they use this image free of charge and report on the issues at the ground-root level?
So the way it works is that APO distribute content to the media, right? So we send to the journalists, to that media list, for instance, which is only one of our channels, we send them by email most of the time, text, image, video, sound bites, content they will use in their newspaper, website, radio, TV, on their social media. So we indeed have a media list of 450,000 contacts, and that media list is divided by country and by topics. And we are making sure that we are sending, for instance, to all journalists reporting on agriculture in Africa, we are sending them press releases about agriculture in Africa in the relevant language. So press release being text, but maybe sometimes the press release will be associated to a video, to an image, or to a soundbite. So that's our role, if you wish, with regard to the African media landscape. Is we are providing content. The content is free. The content is good quality, and it is also we are also providing access. We're providing content and access to the media. So it's from us to the media.
Does this agreement that you have signed have a time frame, a time limit to it?
It's you know, we are in partnership with Getty Images since I think 2018 already. It's just an extension of that partnership. I mean, we have APO and Getty Images. We have a great partnership because we share the same vision when it's come to the African continent. There is a business aspect to our partnership. We are representing Getty Images on the African continent, and so we are selling, if you wish, Getty Images offering on the African continent. But it's more than that. Getty Images is fully aware about their potential, their ability to influence the narrative and influence the perception of Africa across the world, and they want to be involved. They want to take part. They want to support a growing Africa, they want to participate to the development of the continent, and that's why they entered that partnership with the APO Group. We share the same vision, and so they opened their network to our content, either text, image, or video. And it is a huge step for the African continent. I'm not saying that what we are doing as a company at APO is going to solve all the problems. I'm certainly not saying we are the only one, fighting that fight, committed to change the perception and committed to change the narrative about the continent. But it's certainly a huge step in the way we are making positive or neutral content available to thousands of newsrooms across the world.
Now, with the COVID-19 pandemic that is spreading all around the world, a lot of business have been affected by this epidemic. So with this in mind, the partnership with Getty Images, how is it going to affect or support the businesses, the economic ventures around Africa?
Yeah, I will refer to something the president of the former president of the African Development Bank, Donald Kaberuka, told me back in 2008, which is that the dissemination of information about the African economy participate to the development of the continent. In other words, if I have a company in Beijing, I have a company in the US or whatever, and I see, I have a company, I see in the newspaper, my local newspaper, that my competitor or another of my another US company or another whatever company is investing in Africa, well, it will probably catch my attention, and I will look at, or maybe I'll say, why not me? Maybe there are, if others are investing, well, then maybe there is potential. Maybe I should also be interested by that. If I read, because the information has been provided to them, and I'm in Germany, and I read an article stating that, well, the African Development Bank just issued a press release announcing that there is an emerging middle class in I don't know, Burundi, for instance, and so it shows a lot of potential, or that I don't know, the number of or the volume of investment pouring on the African continent is raising by 10%, or whatever figures like this. has the potential, if it reach the relevant people outside of Africa, the investment community, the financial community, has the potential to bring investments, new investments on the continent, to draw the attention of investors, to draw the attention of entrepreneurs. So yes, spreading business news, economic news about the continent across the world will always result on positive more positive news for the continent, investment and eventually growth and development.
So with that, we can say that Getty Image and APO Group, the partnership, it is changing the paradigm of African news outlets or African businesses, economics, that is all around the investment ventures that are being observed in the continent. So it is really a commendable work that APO Group is working with the Getty Image. And coming back to APO Group, you have done a lot of works in promoting the good image of Africa to not only to the continent but also worldwide. And the way you report or the way you narrate Africa news is that by portraying the positive image of Africa. So saying that, what kinds of message would you like to transmit to other journalists or media outlets in portraying the same kind of message or the good image of Africa to the world?
Well, I would certainly not advise any media to go into that direction specifically when it's come to editorial. There is that thing called freedom of the press. Media are, most of them, companies, at least some of them. I think they should choose the editorial line they want to choose. But clearly the African media landscape is facing some challenges. The digitalization is a challenge. The talent retention is a challenge. Those are not, this has not changed through the coronavirus. In fact, it has accelerated. We've seen, because of coronavirus and the consequence of coronavirus, namely the companies and sometimes institutions which are lowering which lowered or even cancel completely their advertisement budget. We've seen so many newsrooms across the continent which are now weaker than they were before coronavirus, and they were not in a very good shape before coronavirus. So I'm afraid the fat are going thinner and the thinner are dying slowly but certainly. And so we have good reasons to be concerned about the health of the African media landscape. I'm talking Africa, not one specific country, and it is a concern which go way beyond jobs and journalists getting unemployed or etc. It's way beyond that. A healthy media landscape is participating to democracy in a country and on a continent. Even more than democracy, I was mentioning that we were involved with World Health Organization to fight the pandemic, and I think the experience of the pandemic remind everyone that you can be the most powerful institution in the world. You can be the United Nations. You can issue all the press releases you want. You can have all the spokesperson able to answer all the interviews you want. If you don't have media to relay, to convey your message, you are voiceless, in fact. If you don't have strong media to reach the populations and making sure they can hear and have access to the life-saving tips you have produced and you want to disseminate, well, in fact, you are useless, really. And it's just one of the example of how important it is for the continent to have a healthy, a strong African media landscape.
Could you say that with the COVID pandemic, that more of the social media has become popular, and could you say that APO Group has become stronger, more reachable, and more advanced in this COVID pandemic era, when most businesses, like we said, have been affected, and the media outlet has shifted to the social one?
Well, APO Group is not a media. You know, we are. You can refer to us as a content distributor, but then we are distributing content to the media. We are not a press agency. We are, in the sense that we are not producing news, we are not producing content. We are very much in the communication business, in the public relation business, in the media relation business, in the press release distribution business, in the digital marketing business. And APO hasn't been impacted by COVID-19. In fact, in 2020 we registered a growth, actually. So it was quite a good year for us. And I believe that in the public relation sector, just like in a lot of other sectors, COVID has accelerated some phenomena which were already there. So it acted as an accelerator. And in our industry, what that means is that those companies and those institutions which started to readjust their mix, advertising versus public relation. Am I paying one full page, very expensive, on a newspaper of an advertising saying how good I am and how beautiful I am and how I'm the best money can buy, etc. Or am I investing in organizing an interview and having my CEO explaining how we are doing things, and or how am I investing in drafting and distributing a press release so a journalist can do a feature with that, can write an article, or can maybe come back to me to ask for an interview, or etc. Well, it seems that again, COVID has acted as an accelerator, and we've seen a huge increase, a double-digit increase. In fact, a 30% increase in volume of the press release distribution distributed in 2020, which is quite huge. So again, 30% increase of the volume of the number of press releases distributed in 2020. So clearly, COVID has acted as an accelerator, and so a PR professional, communication professional, including governments, are more inclined now to use public relation than advertising or pure marketing advertising. And within the public relations sector, it seems that the press release distribution tool is really regarded as the tool offering the better return on investment.
That's really impressive, and like you said, the works, the efforts, all the hard work that you have put into the APO Group has yielded its fruit by recognizing double-digit growth. So with that, any message that you'd like to transmit to media outlets, journalists, your clients, any message that you'd like to transmit, the floor is yours.
Well, to the media and to the journalists, I will first of all, I will remind them that APO is an acronym. The three letters stands for African Press Organization, because it's our original name. That's how we were created back in 2007, and that tells a lot about how we position ourselves toward journalists. We consider that we are their partners. We consider that we are here to support them, to help them. And we do that in two ways. First, we are providing content to journalists and media. You know that wherever you are, whatever small is your media, maybe you just started a website or you just started a newspaper, you know that you can go to APO Group website, africanewsroom.com, and you will find thousands of news releases which are issued by some of the most authoritative sources in the world, in business, in international organizations, NGOs, celebrities, personalities. I mean, in all sorts of industries, and about each 54 markets of the continent. So you know you can use that. It's free. You know you will find text, image, video, sound bites sometimes. And that's the first thing we are providing to the journalist is content. Now the second thing we are providing also is access. And in the same way, you know that if you are writing a piece about, I don't know, logistic in Africa or logistic in your country, and you want to have a quote or an interview with the CEO of DHL Africa, and that is obviously just an example. You know, you can reach out to APO Group. You can just go on our website, use the contact page, you know, the info@apo-opa.com, and just say, well, hell, you know, I'm a journalist in one remote part of Ethiopia or whatever country, and you know, I don't work for such a big publication, and I'm not such a prominent journalist, but I'd like your help in asking a question to the CEO of DHL Africa. And we are here to help. And when we do that on regular basis. So again, we provide content, we provide access, and that's our way to support the African media landscape.
Thank you very much, Mr. Nicholas, chairperson and founder of APO Group, a Pan-African organization that is doing its level best to promote a good image of Africa and connecting Africans together. If you want to know more about APO Group, you can visit their website, www.apo-opa.com, and you can learn a lot about their programs, their organizations. So with that, we've come to the end of this week's edition of African View. And if you want to look at more of African View, you can visit the YouTube channel, African View, on YouTube, or you can visit the website, www.africanview.calio.com. So till next time, it's goodbye from me, Yodit Admasu, the producer and host of African View. Goodbye.